And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
All right, we are back once again. The greatest MMA podcast in the world, in the universe. Let's just be honest about it. The Weighing In Show with myself, John McCarthy, and the man, the real punk, Josh Thompson. We have got a good fight coming up. This week, we want to talk about the UFC card. UFC Vegas 16, I believe, is coming our way. You can catch us on YouTube, Google, Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all of those different platforms. Check us out. Give us the thumbs up, especially on the YouTube. If you want to give us a thumbs down, go away. We don't really care about you. Just kidding. Give us the thumbs down. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I don't care. But we are here to inform you on what's the latest and what's going on in the incredibly cool world of combat sports, because we talk about it all, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, we do, man. And also this week, we're going to be doing weighing in. We're doing weighing in on the odds. So weighing in not weighing in.
I was going to say, that's not weighing in. That's my bookie.
See, I should have had you do that today. See, you hit me with a little mybookie.ag or mybookie.com. They'll both go to the same site. Go ahead and use the promo code weighing in, and they will give you 50% of your initial deposit. So if you deposit in $1,000, they give you another $500, all the way up to $1,000. So if you give $100, they give you another $50. And you're gambling with their money a little bit, to say, I guess you could. So
yeah, a little bit of their money.
We're going to talk about the odds today. It's called weighing in on the odds. You like how I did that? Weighing in on the odds.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
nice.
Pretty good, huh?
That's what we call a segue.
A segue. Nice little segue.
not the kind that you're riding on that's got the little balance.
Oh yeah. I probably wouldn't be very good on those.
Oh, those are awesome.
I'd break a hip.
Those are awesome. They're fun.
I'd break a hip. Oh, I got to go tomorrow to get my knee looked at. My knee's been bugging me, man. Oh.
Old age is the mother.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard it probably about 6 months ago, and felt like it started getting better, and then I started grappling a little bit, and then I heard it again, and it just kind of popped, and then just weird. Remember our last show, I was messing around with Tyler, and we were grappling around a little bit, and I felt it move and shift a little bit, and I'm like, no big deal. The next day, I flew to Austin and was looking at houses in Austin, and I sat up in the hotel bed, and my knee did a really loud pop and shifted and moved. And I was like, oh shit, what is that? And it didn't hurt. It just scared me. You know what I mean? But then I got done. My knee actually felt a little bit better. It was stiff that morning because the night before we were grappling around. And it feels okay, but it just feels a little weak in some areas. And so I got to go get an MRI on it tomorrow afternoon, see if I maybe need to get it.
So you're saying you're scared?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a
little
bit
worried.
No, I'm not worried about the MRI. I mean,
you're worried, not about the MRI. You're worried about what it says.
Yeah, I don't want to get surgery. I thought I was done with all this shit. All right, look, let's go. Let's jump right into weighing in on the odds. Pull up my bookie, please. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. So Mowgli is fighting. He just got put on the card. He's favored at -220, Mowgli Benitez. What do you think against Justin James?
There's a couple that I look at on that card that I go, that's when you look at them, the odds and everything. Whoever's doing the odds for my bookie, they're starting to get pretty smart on some of these odds. You're looking at them going, yeah, that's about where I would put that. But it's a tough one. I don't know. Mowgli's good.
Yeah,
it's a tough fight to pick. I don't know. It's one of those ones that I always look at when you have one like that. I kind of walk away from it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And he just announced he was on the card like a week ago.
I know.
And so I don't even know if it was a full week.
There's a couple on there that I look at that are, the odds are kind of crazy as far as the last thing that I saw. I looked at the odds that my bookie has on the Evloff versus Landwehr fight.
Mm-hmm.
Moisar Evloff and Nate Landwehr. And we've watched, you take a look at Nate Landwehr. This is a guy who he fought in the same organization as Evloff in that it was M1 Challenge that he was going to. He's going to Russia. He's fighting all the same guys for the most part. this guy does not get the credit for being the fighter he is. You know, his last fight was against Darren Elkins.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what a freaking gamer Elkins is. He is just a handful for anyone. He may not have, you know, what we call all of the skill in the world as far as, you know, God-given talent. He's obviously worked hard at what he does because he's good at it. But the will behind Darren Elkins is insurmountable. The guy will never quit, never stop. And you watch that fight that he had with Landsworth. Landsworth's good, and he's a huge underdog. He's like
plus 450.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I know that his opponent is unbeaten, but he's got a couple of, you know, decision wins in his UFC appearances and stuff. And this one could go either way. I'm not saying that I don't say that Evloev is not the favorite. He is, but at plus 450,
yeah,
you got to put $50 or something on him, man. You can make some good money there. And if you lose it, it's one of those ones you go, it was a chance.
Yeah. You know me. Those are the kind of bets that tickle my asshole. So I like those ones. Because
I don't want anything to do with that part of your ticklish part.
Oh, I got you. Look, but for $50, $100, I mean, look, I know it's like, oh man, you lose $100. But I mean, the turnaround on the take home on that is worth it to me. So I start looking at those kind of odds. I don't normally bet on fights that are like, you know, minus 140 or plus 110. I don't normally bet on those type of fights. Like even the Mowgli Benitez fight, even with Mowgli's fight, I wouldn't bet on his opponent, not only because Mowgli's my teammate, but I wouldn't bet on him just because it's like plus 180. I bet 100, $180. I mean, and it just, those bets don't interest me really at all. I want to
want the big payday.
I want the big payday. I like, you know, I think that's why horse races are more my ticket. But as far as with MMA, man, because horse races, right? I mean, you bet the second and third place horse, but to win and they come through, I mean, you're winning triple your money, quadruple your money. Sometimes
you can't be.
You can.
Or you can be
losing your money.
Losing all of it.
Losing all of it. Scroll down a little bit. This is the fight that really interests me, though, was the keep going to the main event. There you go. Hermansson and Vettori. You really think that Hermansson should be the underdog?
No. I'm shocked by that. But hold it. Stop. Go back one fight. Look at the co-main event.
Yeah. Are you talking about Wyman?
No, I'm talking about OSP versus Jamal Hill.
Oh, it's not listed on here that way. There it is right there.
That's the co-main event.
Yeah.
Look at the odds on that.
Yeah.
OSP is the underdog.
Wow. Yeah, the length, the reach, the range, all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, people are biting in the hype these days. Vettori shouldn't be. I feel like Vettori shouldn't be favored, and I feel like Hill shouldn't be favored.
Well, I look at, you know, Marvin Vettori is he's an interesting fighter when you look at him because he doesn't get the credit that he actually deserves for being. He's a tough dude and he's a good fighter. And if you go back and you look, his fight against Adesanya, he's the closest that anyone has come besides Kelvin Gastelum, and that was a 5-round fight compared to a 3-round fight. But it was a split decision victory for Adesanya. It was a close fight. It was a good fight. Not saying that I thought that Adesanya won it, but you know, Vettori gave him a good fight, and he's given everyone a good fight. He's a handful for everyone, but Hermansson he's just fought overall better opponents. I realize that Vittori's got that fight against Izzy, but you look at just the lineup, and the last one was Hermansson. He tapped out freaking Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah,
that is not something you just do.
Quick.
Yeah, it was real quick, and it was like scary because Hermansson, for a guy that claims he's a white belt, that dude's got some submissions. You remember when he submitted David Branch?
I don't know what you just said there.
Do you remember when he submitted David Branch?
Yes.
You know, David Branch, a black belt out of Renzo Gracie's, and he caught him it was an arm in guillotine, but it was across a different way and just tight as hell. And you look and you go, that guy's he can pull submissions off from any position. That's always a dangerous guy. And I look at that. He's the more dangerous individual. I think stand-up wise, they're close. I'll give that. I think Vittori's better in the stand-up, but if it hits the ground, I think that Hermansson's a lot more dangerous. And so being he's the underdog, yeah, that's the direction I would go.
Yeah, you don't win much though. That's the problem.
No, but you know what?
When
you're talking main events, that's the way it actually should be.
Yeah, that's true. This is true. I mean, I would probably go back up to the Ovid St. Preux. I'd probably bet on that fight. I know it's still close. It's plus 140, but I mean, you win $40, and I think Ovid's just the size of him. There's people.
Not only the size, the experience.
Yeah.
Going into that fight, nothing against Jamal. Jamal's a good fighter. I've watched him since he was on the Dana White. He's tough. He doesn't have the experience. OSP's been in there with the very best, and he's fought, well against those guys.
Yeah, you might have just talked me into betting on that fight.
There you go. That's what I'm here for, baby.
I might have to do that. He's plus 140, and then Hill minus 170. I mean, if I put $100 down, I win $40. But I mean, I might go more than that just because I'm going based off not just the experience, but the only thing that concerns me with Ovitz is some days he shows up and some days he doesn't.
That is exactly the whole thing. When you're looking at sometimes he's a world beater, and sometimes he just looks like I don't even care about being.
Yeah, good. It's just it's like when he does throw, everything works and lands. He just doesn't throw enough.
Yep.
We've talked about guys that have fought that way. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're so good. Keep doing what you're doing. Just throw. Have confidence in what you're doing.
He's so athletic. And obviously he's got his go-to submission. If the fight goes to the ground and you grab his head, you're a fool.
Yeah.
Don't grab his head.
Yeah.
He's going to go for the Von Flue or the St. Preux, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. It
is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I like those odds. I would take the Ovitz fight probably if you want to make, $40 or whatever, or maybe a little bit, bet less if you want to. But I like that type of return. I'd like a little bit more, obviously. But I think everybody would. Anyways, but yeah, those are our odds. We're weighing in on these odds here. Go back down to the main event, please. You have Gabriel. You got Matt Wyman. Plus 315. Seems about right, though, for Jordan Levitt.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, how long was he out?
He's out for a while. Again, you figure
4 or 5 years, maybe even longer than that, right?
Matt Wyman started back in the UFC at UFC 60.
Jeez.
Matt Hughes versus Hoist Gracie. So
wow.
LA at the Staples Center.
Yeah, I was there for that event. Yeah, I was there for that event. Crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the odds on the Santos versus De La Rosa though?
All the way, I think it's up.
Should be somewhere on the main card.
There it is. De La Rosa is plus 170. Santos is minus 210.
Yeah. See, and I look at that one. Santos has got a great record.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe her one loss it's a decision loss, but it's against someone that De La Rosa has beaten, and so it's a close fight. You might want to look at that and say that's a fight that you might want to go with De La Rosa on that. She can fight. She's good. I know she's got some losses, but you look at her losses and who she's fought against. She's fought against people like Mackenzie Dern. She's got a loss there. Cynthia Calvillo. She hasn't lost to people that you look and go, oh, she shouldn't have lost to that person.
Yeah.
And then she was in the Ultimate Fighters where she did well. I know she won a fight in there that's exhibition stuff, but she's a good fighter and she's getting better. So she's tough.
I don't know. Santos looked pretty good against Molly McCann though.
Meatball Molly.
I love Meatball Molly. She's like one of my favorites. Not only is she a sweetheart, I love the energy she brings. She's just so fun. We've had her at a couple of our Bellator events because she works with Leah McCourt. They're training partners and they're friends and stuff. But she's an absolute doll. She's just so fun to be around. The energy, the smile, the laugh. Like just watch her walk around the hotel lobby, just talking to everybody. It's fun. It's fun. Like she's always laughing and smiling. All right. Well, hey, that's our odds for mybookie.com or mybookie.ag. Go there, use the promo code Weighing In, and they'll give you another 50% on whatever you deposit, all the way up to $1,000. So if you can deposit up to $1,000, they'll give you another $500 to add on to your gambling. It goes all the way down, all the way up. Enjoy.
And all we request is that if you use this information and you win, send 20% to the Weighing In podcast. Just as, I'm sorry. Just
25%.
Oh man, look at you bumping it up already. I was going a heavy 20% on that.
No, I said I like to make money. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. Well, let's talk now that we've got past the odds. Let's talk about the actual card.
Well, what do you think is the fight that you're looking forward to?
Well, now that I know that Mowgli's on it, that's the one I'm looking forward to.
That's because you know him.
I know.
That's cheating.
I know.
It's cheating.
Let me ask you this: Is Vellante fighting at heavyweight?
I'm not sure if that is a heavyweight fight or not.
Can you pull up Jake? I don't even know who Jake Collier is.
Collier.
Is it heavyweight? Let me see.
It is, I believe, at heavyweight.
Is it?
It's at heavyweight. Because I think that's all Gion's going to fight at now.
Yeah, that's what he was saying before. But I mean, he didn't have a great performance his last fight.
Well, he had a pretty good performance. He just kind of ran out of gas. It's at heavyweight.
Is it?
I guarantee it's at heavyweight.
All right.
Everyone proved me wrong.
Yeah,
it's at heavyweight.
I mean, I don't know, man. I hate to see guys that used to look like they were in shape and, and then now just not the same.
Okay, I want stop. I want you to know, I am getting personal texts from great people, great fighters saying, hey, what's this that you're saying? I'm looking soft. I'm out of shape. I'm looking flabby.
Anthony Smith.
Yes, sir. Anthony texted me after, and I'm like, dude, that wasn't me. That was Josh. But and I started going, and we had a long talk.
He just didn't look his normal. Like, look, I didn't say he didn't perform well.
Oh, he performed great.
He performed great. The simple fact of the matter is he didn't look as cut up as he normally does. And that doesn't always mean that you're going to have a bad performance. Look at guys that like Paul Bonatello made his whole career off of being a chubby little fat guy.
No, look at Fedor.
Fedor as well. DC.
King of the dad bod.
DC as well. I mean, like
DC, another king of the dad bod.
Doesn't mean that they're not athletic. Doesn't mean they don't have a good fight IQ. I think Anthony Smith, I mean, he didn't look as ripped as he normally does. And so I put that in my mind when I was watching him, getting ready to watch him fight. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, he talked about it.
Yeah, he hasn't had a couple good performances. And then now he's coming in not looking as lean as he normally does. But like I said, the two of them don't go hand in hand. Like, they do not. I've seen a ton of guys. Who's the one that just lost because his shoulder got popped out? This last fight.
Brandon
Royval. He doesn't look like he's anything.
He's 125 pounds, Josh.
But that's what I'm saying.
You cannot have fat on 125 pounds.
He doesn't look ripped, though. He doesn't look ripped. He
He's
doesn't look like a Mighty
lanky.
Mouse. He doesn't look like a Mighty Mouse.
Long and lanky.
But he has like that. He has that skinny fat look. Doesn't mean he's not good, but he fights his ass off. He's got great conditioning and he's fucking fun to watch. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't tie the two things together. Just because I said Anthony Smith was looking a little softer doesn't mean that it's not going to perform better. Like, sometimes when guys come in, they're super ripped. Sometimes they overtrained. Sometimes they have, sometimes they've put so much effort out. Their body also, they don't allow their body to fully recover during that week, of the fight. So Anthony, I got a lot of love for you, man. I got a lot of respect for you. But if you're listening to this, I did say you looked a little soft. Okay. But like I said, it doesn't mean that you're going to perform bad. I mean, actually, I was very impressed with your performance. It's just, like, hey, when I'm getting ready to watch someone fight, I take in consideration how you've looked previously and how you look now walking out to the fight. He didn't look as ripped as he normally does, but he obviously performed at a better level. I mean, he performed beautifully in that fight. So tip my hat to him. Good job, buddy. Stop bugging John.
We talked about his conditioning and stuff, and he said, look, I've gone to different strength and conditioning, different nutritionalists. He goes, and it's changing. He goes, but I can go forever now. Yeah. I'm feeling so much better. And it's like, man, that's all that counts. It ain't about the cover of the book. It's about the pages inside. And if you've got gas, and that's why he wanted the 5-round contest. We kind of talked about that. Yeah, you saying you wanted to go 5 rounds. He was ready to go 5 rounds. I was in great shape. So he knows what he's doing. He got a great win. On to the next.
Yeah, that was my concern.
It was funny.
That was my concern. When I saw him, I'm like, wait, and you're the one that asked for 5 rounds, and you've been gassing out your last couple fights. And then I saw you look a little soft. Like, that was my concern. But that would be, I mean, I was probably just the only person that was willing to say it. That was it. Like, and people can get mad at me all they want, but like, that's the reality of it. It's like, when you look at, I'm going based off of his last 2 performances where he got tired, and he got tired and he lost. And then now I see him in this last fight, and he looked a little bit smoother and softer, didn't look his normal ripped self. But I can say this too, when you also train so much and you lift more and you put on the weight and you start to lean out and you get ripped, that doesn't always translate to muscle conditioning and cardio. It doesn't translate that way. You see those guys that are really big and buff, doesn't mean they can fight 5 rounds. Actually, as a matter of fact, they can probably only fight for 1 minute of 1 round.
Exactly.
And so the fact is that maybe it's a new him. And I think nutrition is probably one of the most important parts, especially when you're doing your weight cut. And so I think if he's saying he's working with a new nutritionist and someone that's a new strength and conditioning coach, I mean, it looked great in that fight, but didn't go long. So I want to see it for a longer duration. But I'm excited to see where it leads him, because he's not as ripped as he used to be. But that, like I said, it doesn't make a difference as long as he performs well. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I could tell you, man, back when, if you remember Anthony fighting in Strikeforce.
Yes, I do.
He fought Roger Gracie. I did that fight. And you talk about, at the time, obviously he was the same height, about 6'4", but he was 185. And you talk about lean and ripped. He was just ripped in that fight. And you look at him and you go, God damn, man, you are put together like a Greek god. I hate you.
Yep.
And it's, but it doesn't matter. One of the greatest ones ever was Jeremy Horn, whose nickname was Gumby, who never had, the physique or anything. And he will tell you that the fight that he worked the hardest for, got in the best shape that he could get in, did the right dieting, because Jeremy always ate crap, but, tried to stick to a very regimented diet. All the conditioning was his fight, I think, UFC 54 against Chuck Liddell. And he said, and I was gassed in that fight right away. He goes, I never felt worse in a fight. He goes, I'll never do that again. He went back to his own thing. He could fight forever. Yeah. So never know.
Yeah. It really just comes down to what your body's used to as well. I mean, like Paul Bonatello lived with me for years, and I always found top ramen like bucket things and pushed under my couch that were there for like probably a week. He always had Mexican red sauce all over it. I mean, he always had Tapatio or Tabasco everywhere. I mean, didn't matter. Paper plates, glass plates, didn't matter. There was always food and plates. I mean, I remember one time I came home and I was missing half my silverware. I finally started looking around the house for it. I found it underneath the couch.
Paul's eating it.
I found it under the couch. There was like 6 plates under the couch. He just would push it underneath the couch instead of putting it in the sink. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, where'd all my silverware go? So anyway, it didn't matter though. It didn't matter. Like, there's certain people that can eat, however.
Paul could eat like that because he was going to throw it up in the back before the fight, because every fight that dude was puking, running to the stall to throw up. Man.
Yeah, but when right before DC fought, I want to say Big Country. Maybe it was before he fought Josh Barnett. Anyways, it was. I think it was either his first fight in the UFC or his last fight in Strikeforce. I think it was when he fought Josh Barnett in the finals of the Grand Prix. We were out at Buffalo Bills watching one of the UFC fights, and he's in there. It was literally 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. It was actually, no, it was the Josh Barnett fight, because I was getting ready for Gilbert Melendez, and we're watching one of the UFC fights. I want to say Koss or somebody was fighting on the card. We went to go watch. And he's there with his girl, his wife now, his girl, and she's drinking a mojito. He's drinking water. And she's got he orders a salad. She orders the chicken wings and all the other stuff, right? He's eating her wings. He's drinking her mojito. He's 3 weeks before the fight. And I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I mean, I was very, very strict on my diet always, just water only and no juice, nothing, and I ate a chicken grilled salad, all that stuff. And this guy's eating whatever 3 weeks before. He pays to be a heavyweight, but he performed really well though. He always performed really well. Yep. Eating all that crap. Me, I noticed a huge difference when I didn't eat healthy. I noticed that my conditioning just never got to where it could have been had I eaten healthy. And when I
See,
started
that's
eating healthy, it was
that's
performing
the
better.
difference between being a race car and a Ford F-350 like
Like these
Cormier is.
Yeah, I definitely
It's
always
good to be a diesel truck, baby.
I always compared myself to a Ferrari. That's for sure.
Yeah. Is that what you compared yourself to?
Maybe a McLaren. I don't know.
Could have been a Toyota MR2 or
No,
something.
you know that's not true. That's not true. All right, pull up the card for us, Gian. Look, I'm looking forward to Mowgli's fight. I like watching Gian fight. He's always a gamer. Just got to pull the trigger a little bit more. Conditioning is kind of a factor, I think, in the heavyweight division. It's kind of was a factor earlier too in his career. You know, he slows down as the fight goes on, but he just kept walking forward. What fight are you looking forward to?
You know, honestly, I look at all of the fights that are there. I'm looking forward to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good main event. I really enjoy watching Hermanson fight. He's just fun. You never know what he's going to go after, but I'm really looking. The one that I was talking about that I was shocked about the odds is Landwehr against Evloff. That's a good fight. Those guys are both good. Now, I admit, I really love the stand-up that Evloff brings. He's really sharp, but it's going to be a good fight overall. I think that's a good fight, and I really like the Santos versus De La Rosa fight. I think that's going to be a fun fight, too. I think they're both going to get after it.
Which Ovitz shows up? The one that beats him or the one that...
I'm going with the one that beats him. Look, his last performance was and it was one of those ones you look, you're waiting for him to pull the trigger, and he's not. Yeah. So I think, you know, he's gone back, and he tends to have those on off. You know, he has a good performance. He has a performance. You look and you go, it could have been better. And it's always when you beat yourself is the ones that you got to look back and you're gonna really be upset with. You know, you can fight someone that they're just better than you that night. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be upset as long as you give your best performance that you can give. It's when you don't give the performance, you go back and you look and you say, man, I could have pulled the trigger there. I could have pulled the trigger there. I could have done more in this situation. I could have done more, you know, on the ground. I could have, you know, pushed it more. That's what you don't want. And that's what I think sometimes you're getting out of OSP.
Yeah, he's just got to go. I think if he goes, people underestimate how big and strong he is and how athletic he is. He's an enormous guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just big ass legs, like tree trunk legs, big old ass. He's got a big ass. It's so funny. You'll read like the comment sections on girls just commenting on just his ass. It's so funny on Twitter. They're like, yeah, look at that ass. I started laughing. He's just a big guy.
Yeah, and an athletic guy.
Yeah, yep.
Super athletic.
He went to the University of Tennessee, I believe, and played
football. Linebacker at the University of Tennessee.
Played linebacker there. Played football. Yeah. I mean, he is getting a little bit up in age, 37 years old. I think this fight's coming up probably at 205, not at heavyweight, right? Because that's what Hill is, right? 205?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 205. I mean, he went up to heavyweight. He went up to heavyweight a couple times, right?
Well, he went up and he fought Rothwell.
Yeah.
You know, and went the distance with it, you know, and Ben's just a load. And Ben's that come forward zombie where if you can't put him out, you know, he's going to wear on you just with his style and him leaning on you when he puts you against the cage.
Yeah.
I think that was just the effect of being in there with a guy that's not 265 when he walks in. He's 275 to 285 pounds, somewhere in between. So just a lot of weight difference for OSP to deal with. But, you know, he's been training with David Taylor forever. Mm-hmm. And I know that, you know, every now and then David gets on him and says, hey, we got to step this up. And he always seems to react. He always seems to come through. So we'll see. I think this is actually a good fight for him. I'm, again, shocked that he's the underdog.
All right. He might have talked me into betting on him. Got to make some money. All right. Yep. These houses ain't going to pay for themselves, son.
No.
Oh, all right. Well, what else is there, John? You wanted to talk a little bit about this Jake Paul and Ben Askren bullshit.
Well, first off, Jake Paul is calling out everyone.
Of course.
And it's funny because then I see, you know, people are talking and it's the whole, he called out Dylan Dennis and Conor McGregor. And you look and it's like, you know, stand still, Jake. You're not even yes, you're a professional boxer in the fact that you hold a professional license and you have a 2-0 record, which is awesome, but you're really an amateur trying to learn how to box. Now, I'm not saying anything about the whole thing, but he was calling people out. That's what, he can do that. But now Ben Askren is calling Jake Paul out and saying, we will fight either boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Lethway. He's going the full gamut. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, I don't think that Ben has gone back and watched any of his fights, because stand-up was never that he won fights off of. And if you don't have the ability to take someone down because it's not in the rules, what is Ben thinking?
I don't know.
He's not.
I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not a big Jake Paul fan. I'm just not into this whole like YouTube fight thing. I mean, whatever. I mean, like, hey, I got to tip my hat to him a little bit though, in terms of he is taking it serious. It seems to be taking
he's training.
It
I'll give him that. You can tell that he's actually working at the craft.
Yes. And to think like, oh, because a basketball player came in and, he's an athlete and this, bro, these guys are cut, like fighters are cut from a different cloth. Like they're not flopping on the ground, when they get elbowed in the back just a tiny bit, or, like they're not basketball players. You guys make your career off that. All of you guys,
Are you saying that people are floppers?
And soccer players are the same way.
Oh my God. I can't even stand it
basketball
anymore.
has gotten worse than soccer.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
No, basketball's worse.
No.
Yes.
No. Soccer is the king of the flop.
Basketball is. Basketball.
No.
How do you have guys that are 7 feet tall, they get their knees collide and they just they don't even collide. Like
what are you talking about?
They'll throw
Soccer
themselves on the ground.
Walk up to them fast and they'll flop on the ground without there ever being contact.
I'm not saying this but these guys are also guys in soccer sometimes are like 5'8", 5'10". These guys are almost 7 feet tall. And like they can be knocked over so easily. It's ridiculous. It just drives me crazy to watch these guys. And they make a shitload of damn money. Jesus.
And you think soccer players don't?
No, they do. They do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they do. Yeah. But I feel like the soccer players are more athletic.
That's why I watch the ladies with the soccer. Oh God, come on. No, sorry. Not that soccer players are not athletic, but look, basketball players, they're athletes. They are athletic. That is body control.
Just because they're big.
Everything.
Is it just because they're big?
No,
is
it's
that
not
what makes
just
them
because they're
athletic?
big. No,
because they can dunk a ball.
Being big makes it harder to be athletic.
I don't know.
More things to move, more length, more difficult.
I guess I give you a little bit there. I don't know. I'm really just trying to pitch you an argument because I played soccer. That's why.
I'm not saying soccer doesn't have athletes. They are.
No, they are.
But God, they're the worst floppers in the world. It makes it
they're not worse than basketball
I watch the ladies play soccer.
They're good.
They're tough.
Yes, they are.
They don't flop.
They fight for the ball all the way to the
they're
goal.
Awesome.
So funny. Like I wonder how many goals could have been scored had the guy just decided not to flop and continued on to the goal because he was by himself after that. But instead, he threw himself on the ground. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
crazy.
But I still think basketball players are worse floppers.
You cannot stop.
Yeah, I can't.
It is just who you are.
Look, let's go back to Jake Paul and to Ben Askren. Ben, I love you, buddy. Stop. You're not a striker. I would give Dylan Dennis more of a chance of beating Jake Paul than you on the feet. And then let's carry on into Conor McGregor. As much
not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. I think Conor starches him. I mean, even though Jake Paul's a little bit bigger, right? I want to say Jake Paul's 190?
Yeah, Jake Paul's a bigger person, but Jake Paul will hardly touch him.
Yeah.
He won't understand how that distance is being controlled. He won't understand, how to counter what's happening. He's going to be in trouble. He hasn't done it long enough.
Yeah.
It just becomes a chess game where you're always multiple moves behind. And it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to put too much into the Mayweather-Conor fight, but Conor was able to touch him a couple times.
Oh yeah,
and maybe Mayweather was just taking it for granted, whatever it is. But he got caught. He got hit with a good uppercut on one of those. I remember him called one of those in the second or third round. He hit him with a couple nice pieces. Jake Paul is not going to have that same luxury. He's going to get touched.
There was a whole lot of commentary or opinions about the Conor versus Mayweather fight that, Mayweather carried him. No. What Mayweather did is he went in there feeling, I'll just feel him out and have some fun in the beginning. He got touched a couple times and went, whoa, he's got a little more snap than I'm just going to wear his ass out.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And that's what makes Floyd Mayweather the smart fighter he is. And he did it well. And in the end, he's landing all the shots where Conor's landing nothing and just taking abuse. That's what makes him a great boxer, and that's why he won the fight.
Yeah, with Mayweather, you saw him change his game plan. He started turning into a Mexican boxer where he's putting all the pressure, and that because he knew that Conor looked like he was getting a little bit tired, and he couldn't go the full, 12 rounds? Couldn't go the full 12 rounds. So let's just make it what it is. Let me put pressure on you. Let me make you more tired, and then I'll start piecing you and touch you. His technique was a lot better than Conor's when it came to the boxing style. Not
only that, it was in the beginning, Conor's length was giving him a little bit of difficulty. So I'm going to crush that length. I'm going to become a different fighter than you expect. And as I come inside and now I take your length away, now let's see how you deal with it since I have a lot more experience. And again, that's what makes him the guy that's the world champ and not the guy that's going to lose the fight.
Yeah. Jake Paul doesn't stand a chance against Conor. I don't give him.
No.
Yeah, I don't give him a chance. I think that kind of squashes that whole deal with Ben. Ben, he ain't gonna give Ben the fight either.
Come on,
just
man.
to be honest, he ain't gonna give Ben the fight.
No.
He's looking at Dylan because Dylan has a little bit more of a following. Plus, the story leads back to Conor.
Does Dylan have more of a following than Ben now? I don't think so.
I think so.
Really?
Even if he doesn't, Ben Askren doesn't lead back to Conor. Dylan Dennis does.
Yes.
And the whole goal is to get to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
That's it. And then after that,
you're trying to use Dylan as a stepping stone to the ultimate goal that can make some money.
But I give Dylan more of a chance of beating Jake Paul than I do Ben Askren.
So do I.
Oh man.
Look, there's been and these are both guys I've loved as MMA fighters in the fact that they're so good at what they do. Ben Askren, people can say whatever they want, man. His wrestling made him incredible as far as not everyone can take that wrestling and shift it into MMA and be so successful. And he did. And he was fantastic for a long time until, age and injuries got to him. Him and Jake Shields were two guys in MMA, man. They beat guys that you looked and said, man, they're not going to beat that guy. And then they just control them, just put on a performance, not an exciting performance, I'm not going to say, but a really solid performance. But both of them had two of the worst stand-up games ever from top flight MMA competitors there was. It was almost, you would sit there and cringe as things would happen, but they would make, they would make it work for them. So, but it was always the possibility of either the takedown or being in a position where that person was on top of you grappling that made other guys hold back in their stand-up where that wouldn't happen in a boxing match. Yeah,
I mean, you gotta look with Jake Shields. He did quite a bit of damage to George St. Pierre on the feet.
He did.
That little same leg body side liver kick that he uses leads right into his jab, and then his jab into the body kick, and with the right hand after. And nothing's hard, but it just touches you and touches you.
And he went 5 rounds with George.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I know what you mean. Like sometimes the shit
he went 5 rounds with Dan Henderson after Dan Henderson killed him in the first round and ran out of gas. He mounted Dan 4 rounds in a row. I didn't stop the fight.
No.
He's hitting him with everything he has, and it's like,
and everything
not
hurting
him.
Yeah,
you're not hurting him.
Yeah, I trained with Jake for years, man. Yeah. I was like, Jake, come on, buddy. Oh man, love it.
Great guy.
Yeah. I mean, but look, he also fought Robbie Lawler.
Oh,
was able to sub. I think he subbed Robbie Lawler with army guillotine. Yeah, the guillotine choke.
Yeah,
but he had to take some shots to get in there.
How
to
many
get
guys?
That close. Yeah, a lot of those guys. All right. Well, hey, what else is there? What other news is there? Pull up something for us. Let's go, Gian. Leon Edwards, COVID-19, out of the fight with Chimaev.
First off, it was Chimaev who was the guy that supposedly had COVID. Then his team goes, no. Right? No, it's Leon Edwards. Maybe both of them did. Who knows? But definitely Leon, that fight's off but they're just going to move it back, and that's fine. Yeah.
They're fucking sticking it to him. Fucking poor Leon, man. I love Leon, dude. He's such a nice guy. Shit, they're fucking him. They're
You
fucking
think so?
him. Yeah.
You think so?
They're fucking him. There's no reason for him. There's no reason for him to fight Chimaev. Like, give him one of the top 3 guys, not Chimaev. What a slap in the fucking face. If I was Leon, man, I'd fight 1 or 2 more times. However many you have left on your contract, get the fuck out. They're never going to make you a champ. They're never going to let you fight for the title. They're trying to get you beat, son. It's over. You beat Chimaev, they ain't going to give you a title shot. He's not even, what is he ranked? Like, he's not even ranked, is he? About 15, 14, 12? Where's Chimaev in the 170 pound?
I think he's 13 now?
15. Come on.
Yeah.
You're fighting Chimaev. Like, if he doesn't look good, nope, not ready for a title, obviously.
Oh, yeah. We already said there's really not an upside for him. He's stuck. Unless he makes him look bad, which he's not going to do because Chimaev's good.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can.
It's not only his wrestling. His stand-up is good.
Yeah.
I've watched him before he came into the UFC. His stand-up is good. You know, he has gone against very good stand-up fighters that he wasn't able to take down and just said, okay, we're going to do it this way. And very, very competitive, very tough at it. He's good.
Yeah,
he's just good all the way around.
It's just going to come. I mean, why wouldn't they give Chimaev somebody else, man? Give him.
Well, I was surprised that Neil Magny was asking for that fight.
Yeah, he actually asked for it again when he found out that Leon had COVID. He said, "Oh, I'll be ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready for that."
They do not want to put Chimaev against Neil Magny, and I kind of understand why. I look at it, hey, I'm just, styles make fights. Neil Magny is not that guy that's the better wrestler. He does have the better submission game. I don't care what anyone says. Neil Magny's submission game is good. He is solid. And his stand-up is not powerful, but it's volume-based, and he can take a good shot. He's survived a lot of times when he's taken big shots and just hung in there in the fight and worn his opponent out. Go back to the Hector Lombard fight. You want to see a fight, watch Neil Magny in that one. The first round, he gets clipped in that thing, and Neil is in trouble. Hector Lombard is all over him. Mm-hmm. It's a 10-8 round for Hector Lombard, but he gets exhausted. And in the next round, Neil just turns it on him and 10-8 round that way, 10-7 the next round.
Jeez.
Incredible as far as, just an incredibly tough dude to fight. So I can understand why they're going, if we're trying to build Chimaev, that might not be the right fight for him.
I mean, Leon just, there's a no-win situation. Even if he starches him, gets him out of there, it's still a no-win. He's supposed to do that.
It's not going to bump him up in any fashion.
No, he should already be at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no one, I don't think there should be anybody ahead of him, really. Who else would be ahead of him? Go back to the rankings, Gian.
Yeah, Colby should be right there.
Yeah. Gilbert, I guess Gilbert. Yeah, you have Leon
should be right
Gilbert.
there.
But I mean, I'd like to see Leon and Gilbert. That'd be a good fight.
I'd like to see Colby and Gilbert.
Colby'd have to stand.
Exactly it,
Oh,
dude.
jeez. Oh, shit. Gilbert's
Colby doesn't want to take him down.
No way. You don't.
At least not in the beginning or until he's got a lot of sweat on him.
Yeah. I mean, but Gilbert doesn't slow down a whole lot, though, either.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be a fun fight. If we were to break down that's what we got to do, John. We got to do that here soon. Let's just go through every weight class and just break them all down and who should be fighting who. I like that. I like that Gilbert Burns, Colby Covington fight. And I'm surprised they haven't made Leon and Masvidal yet. Doesn't make any sense.
That's the one that I thought was going to happen because you got a backstory with it. It's set up for you.
Yeah.
But,
Micah Chiesa and Stephen Thompson might be a good fight.
Well, Stephen Thompson's got who's it? He's got Jeff coming up. Jeff Neal?
Yeah, Jeff Neal. Not it's not Neal, right? It's how do you say his last name? Is it Neal or Nia? Where are you going with this, buddy?
I was thinking it was Neal.
No, not him.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, is it Neal or is it Neal? I thought Neaf, isn't it? Neaf? Maybe it's Neal. Go back to the rankings.
I don't know. That's a good fight.
Right there. Yeah, it is Neil. Sorry.
That's what I thought.
I was thinking Jeff. It's Geoff.
Geoff.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking F at the end. Yeah. I don't know why. That was it, though. Yeah, Neil Magny, he needs to get a fight in there as well. I don't know. Damian Maia might be done, or maybe one or two more, but I don't think he's going to fight much longer.
How about Chiesa against Neil Magny? Boom.
Yeah,
that's a good fight.
That'd be good. Chiesa's big, too. He's a big guy.
So's Neil Magny.
Yeah, he's
tall. They're just both tall. But
Yeah.
at least Chiesa is now fighting at 170 where he belongs instead of killing himself to try to get to 55.
What about Chiesa and T. Wood?
T Wood's done, man.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you.
He doesn't want to fight anymore. Huh? Interesting. All right, pull up some other headlines. There was one more that I saw you pull up. Korean Zombie calls out Zabit.
That's a tough one.
So look, Zaire pulls out of the fight due to injury, apparently. Mark Henry goes on social media and says, shocking that he would pull out again. I love Mark Henry.
Come on, you gotta love Mark.
I love Mark Henry. Look,
because that is not his normal personality.
No, it's not at all.
To say anything.
No.
So you know what he's thinking by when he says it.
Yeah.
No, he's going, I'm tired of this bullshit.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight Zabit. Zaire does not want to fight Zabit. I don't understand. And Zabit's just losing time waiting for that fight to happen. And the UFC keeps coddling Zaire.
But I don't know if they're coddling him or not.
I think he's a pain in the ass to deal with, is what I think he
that's exactly part of. He's not the easiest to deal with, more difficult than others. And for whatever reason, he doesn't want that fight. And for whatever reasons, and we know what those are, the UFC does. And so they're going to just keep on giving him that fight. But the problem I really look at is not him. I feel bad for Zabit.
Yeah.
You know, he's stuck in this, well, I'm the guy that, you want to fight him, and he doesn't want to fight. So he keeps on saying, I got to change the date. I'm injured or whatever it's going to be. We really don't know. But, when Dana came out saying, he's probably not going to fight for a while. What does that mean?
Zaire?
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's just, not Zaire, Yair. Sorry, Yair.
Yair.
I was saying Zabit and Zaire. Well, Zabit,
you're just mixing them up. They're brothers now.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much joined at the hip, but just can never fight. It's getting a little annoying. I've been against Yair from when he left and tried to play hardball, and then they just were like, you know what, we're done with you. And then he went groveling back. I mean, just show some balls, man. Like that to me. And then now with this whole thing, like, you're going to fight Zabit, and he's pulled out 2 or 3 times since then. This whole thing is, he just doesn't want to fight him. If you can't make a fighter want to fight. That's it.
Nope.
If you don't want to, I would get it if Zabit was like ranked 15 and Yair was like number 4. That's not the case though. The case is Zabit's ranked higher.
They're right there.
Yeah, they're 3 and 4.
Yeah.
You gotta just have him fight. That's like you're gonna have to fight him eventually. Let's say Zabit becomes champion. You're gonna have to fight him eventually, buddy.
Yeah.
You want to get there. I don't know. Korean Zombie's all for fighting Zabit. I like that. He's a gamer.
Well, come on. Korean Zombie fights anybody.
He'll fight anybody. I wouldn't mind seeing the Calvin Qatar fight again. Calvin Kattar fight.
Oh, against Zabit?
Zabit. Yeah, because remember they fought before, right?
I would like to see it in a 5-round fight.
Yeah, that was a 3-round fight before, right? And Zabit was getting tired towards the end of the 3rd.
Yes, he was. The fight was changing. And we've seen those, but in the past with a lot of other ones that then we've seen that same matchup in the 5-round fight. And it really, it didn't really change the outcome of it and stuff. And it might not in this, but, Calvin seems to be a guy that, conditioning is big with him and he holds the pace. And so Zabit's going to have to figure out a way to either control the pace so he doesn't get in that position where he starts to get tired, or figure out a way to get in better shape.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't had him fight somebody, though. Zabit, have him fight somebody like Brian Ortega or Max Holloway, or like he really hasn't fought outside of.
So you talk about Max Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
Zabit? Come on, that's a fight right there.
Yeah, why not Brian Ortega, though? That's what
Brian Ortega's fighting Volkanovski. Why would he?
Oh,
take
okay. I didn't know they announced that.
Well, it was the whoever won between the Korean Zombie and Ortega. They were getting the automatic against Volkanovski, and Volkanovski was all, "Yep, it's about time. I know which direction I'm going after the fight."
Good deal.
So supposedly that fight is going to be coming our way, but I don't know if there's anything official.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like with the inactivity of Yair, just drop him, man. Drop him down to, like, I don't know, 7 or 8. Get him, like, or do what they did with Leon Edwards. Yeah, just take him out of the rankings altogether. You're not ranked. We don't have to give you anybody now. We'll give you unranked fighters until you're ready to fight. It does. I think as a promoter, look, you guys can say I'm being harsh with them, but you have to look at it from a promoter's point of view. And I'm obviously not one to always favor the Dana White and the UFC promotion type thing. But look, it's true. They are a business. They are trying to make money. They are trying to build these fighters, and they've spent millions of dollars trying to build Yair Rodriguez. And the problem is every time you get to this guy named Zabit, you decide that you're injured, you're hurt, you don't want to fight, or you're willing to take time off. And as a promotion, you've got to be thinking to yourself, you really just want to handpick your guys. And you want to,
can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do that. And I wonder how.
As the promotion, how many times have we talked about, as a promoter, you do not want to have a guy in a place that is, high in your rankings, one of your better fighters, that you go, oh, I can't put that guy against him. I can't put that. You can't have that.
Yep.
You have got to have it to where you have guys that are killers. They'll fight anybody. Now you have what you need.
Okay, look, I got trashed on last week because everyone's like, when I was talking about it looked like a low level show, and everyone's like, yeah, but like, what are you talking about? Like, have you not seen a Bellator card?
Oh,
No. Let me finish. I'm gonna give this to you guys. Look, let's just say you guys, everyone on social media likes to comment on how the Bellator cards are. Bellator, since these events, since the COVID situation has happened, the cards have gotten a lot better, and the fighters have been fighting each other in terms of the higher ranked guys have now started fighting the higher ranked guys. And I can understand where people would get that same. John, you can relate. You can understand this as well.
Yeah.
We did catch flack, MVP, fighting guys that weren't supposed to be weren't good. But guess what? All those guys all had winning records. Like the kid that he beat in Italy in I don't know.
Yeah, but that's
round.
not.
I understand.
You got to go. It is not his fault.
It's not.
And it's not the promotion, because the promotion put a good fighter with a very good record in against him.
Yeah.
And he gets hurt, and then they're stuck.
No,
all of a sudden they've got to find someone. So, that's when you're stuck. No,
I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. But last week, look, Bellator, we have been guilty of doing stuff like that before. Not just Bellator, Strikeforce did it a little bit as well.
Absolutely.
And so I understand.
All promotions have done that.
Yes. Like CM Punk and all these, they've given guys easy fights. Yeah. What's the other one? The other one with the spiky hair. Sister fights also in one. Not Paige. Sage. What's his name?
Oh, Northcutt?
Northcutt. There you go. Paige.
Well, Paige, Sage, same thing.
So, look, promotions do that. They try to give their fighters someone they're trying to build. They try to build them up, but then eventually when they get to the top, they've got to fight the best guys. And that's kind of where they're at right now. Bellator's going through the same situation right now with MVP. Look, he's fought good guys. He's made them look bad, but the bottom line is now it's time for him to start fighting the top guys. He's already fought Lima. He lost to Lima. But he's got to fight, he's got to start fighting Lorenz Larkin, the Logan Storleys, Korshkovs. He's got to start fighting those guys. Yaroslav Amosov. He's got to start fighting all those guys because look, the time has come now. Look, we've exhausted ourselves on building you up. You're built up. Now it's time for you to start fighting these guys here at the top 5 positions.
But he's never been the guy that has turned anyone down.
No, he hasn't. No,
so
he hasn't.
It's not him.
But
he's
I'm
willing
saying,
to fight anybody.
What I'm getting to is the point is that as much as I want to give a hard time to the guys in the UFC, I'm giving the hard time as well to our guys in Bellator. Our guys also too sometimes they're not turning down fights, We just got to make sure that they're continuing to fight the better guys. And what I like right now is there's a lot of talk with Bellator about them starting their ranking system now. So then every fan at home now can actually sit on the website and go, hey, why isn't this guy fighting this guy? How come he's fighting this guy? So then when the injuries come up, like when MVP fought the guy in Italy, he was 11. I want to say he was 11 or 12 and 2.
13 and 2. I think.
13 and 2. And so he was also a last minute replacement. I want to say he was supposed to fight who? Derek Anderson, I think.
Yep.
Yes, he was supposed to fight Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson got hurt. He ended up fighting the other guy. The other guy was 13 and 2, had a good record. Just MVP made him look bad.
Yep.
But now with the ranking system supposedly being set up and trying to put the ranking system in place, fans at home can go, hey, this guy's ranked here. This guy's ranked here. This guy's ranked here. Why is this guy who's ranked number 5? Why is he fighting this guy who's not even ranked? That it'll start making more sense. It'll start making the fans understand like what they are doing and where the fighters are. I'm not going to knock either promotion for it, but I'm going to knock Yair Rodriguez right now because he's done this several times, all the way to the point of leaving the promotion. I mean, like basically being let go. Look, we're done. We're done dealing with you. We're done dealing with whatever it is you want to, you're whining and crying about. You're laughing so hard.
I'm just laughing. I'm
because,
laughing under my breath because I'm thinking of Sean Shelby and Mick.
Oh man,
what the fuck do you want me to do anymore?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's not. It's not. And that's the thing is, as a promoter, when you get to those guys at the top, I think that's a little bit of why Dana had such a hard time with T. Wood. Maybe he said he's just hard to deal with. I mean, there's problems. If you're the champion, you don't want to fight that guy. Okay, well then, who do you want to fight? The next guy
if you're the champion, you've got to be willing to fight anybody.
And there's
nobody on that roster in your weight class that you will not put your name on that contract as long as the money is reasonable.
Yep.
Maybe not exactly what you want, but hey, it's good money. It's reasonable. You'll put your name on the contract.
And here's the thing is I look at where Yair is. Okay. And I've said this for the longest time because I was in that situation for a big majority of my career. When you're ranked in the top 4 or 5 or in the top 8 or 9, I would say the top 4 or 5, you really don't want to be fighting guys that are ranked number 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I can understand that because you're so close to a title shot. And I understand. That's why when I got offered the fight with Pettis, then Pettis got hurt. I said, no. I was ranked number 2. I'm not fighting anybody else but Benson Henderson or somebody ranked higher than me. It's just not going to happen. And then I just beat Nate and and he just fought for the title. Why am I not getting a title shot? Or give me somebody else who's ranked higher. Who'd they give me? I took the Ben fight. As soon as they offered me Ben, I took it. You have to always be trying to advance your position. And sure, it cost me, but there's no reason for him not to fight Zabit. Because he's already beaten Korean Zombie, which he was losing that fight up until the last split second.
Well, there's a beautiful elbow at the end.
Yeah, but I can understand why he doesn't want to fight anybody below, but he also needs to fight above. But I'm sorry, bud. Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, and Zabit, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any harder than that. Like Zabit's probably the easier of the other 2 guys. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, styles make matchups.
All of them are tough.
They're all killers.
That's exactly what you're there for.
Exactly. So if you're thinking you're going to wait around for another, you're not going to get any higher up in the rankings, or unless you're hoping for one of them to drop out and you can slide in. But the UFC, once you've backed out of this fight, you'd be the last choice
that they would go to slide somebody in because they're saying, you're a pain. And if you win that fight, you're going to be more of a pain as the champion.
And then not only are you a pain not only are you being a pain right now, but as time goes on, you're going to be developing more of a pain. How can I build you if you only fight once a year? That's the thing. I cannot make you the champion. I cannot put you in a title shot if you fight once a year. Nobody cares anymore. Your mystique is gone. It's over. Like you've already left the promotion because you didn't want to fight Zabit. Now you come back, you've got to win over Zombie, and you haven't fought in a while. And now it's like, no one cares anymore. I honestly didn't even realize you were still ranked in the top 10 because you don't fight very often. And here's the thing. I know I'm going to get ragged on for sure. I like watching him fight. I love watching him fight. It's things like this, though, is that you've pulled out of the fight so many times. Everyone's like, oh, he's just crying wolf. Like he just keeps pulling out. You just keep pulling out. It's like, no one's going to care about you anymore. And that's the issue as a promotion. And you got to look at it from the business side, you guys, as fans at home. Look at it as the business side. I cannot build someone who does not want to fight the top guys and who always pulls out of fights. If you always pull out of fights, I can't build you. I can't give you a title shot. He's never going to get there if he keeps doing what he's doing.
I totally agree. And you got to look, the UFC, when they had him, he came out of the Ultimate Fighter and they pushed him.
Yeah.
They pushed him all the way, when they gave him that BJ Penn fight. Trust me, they knew who was going to win that fight, and they were using BJ to give Yair that name of BJ Penn as a win on his record because they believed that Yair was going to beat him. So they did set him up into that position, and then when he got to that upper level, you got to continue on, and hopefully it is that he really is getting injured, and if it is happening that way, I'm sorry, but man, you're gonna be better off just fighting. Is he reading his own headlines, John? I don't know.
After the BJ fight, he started kind of being a little bit more of a, I want this, I want that. And that's kind of when all the drama started happening.
Yeah. I don't know his management well enough to really say it either way. I just know the way it looks. And when you have perception can become reality, even if it's not true. But when people perceive that you are trying to keep yourself away from fighting somebody else, it becomes, whether it's true or not, it does become the truth with the fans, and it's gonna ride with you and be part of that until you take that person on.
Some guys just can't handle the pressure of being at the top. That might be a little bit of it too. I mean, maybe he's struggling with the fact that, like, look, I'm ranked number 4. I've got Zabit, and I've got Brian Ortega, and I've got Max Holloway all right there above me. He may not be confident enough in himself to believe that he can beat those 3 or any of those 4 because of Volkanovski being champion. I mean, he may believe that. I mean, he may be going through that right now. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's overconfident. He just wants to wait and handpick his opponents and wait for one of those guys to fall out so he can.
Who's he going to handpick?
You can't handpick any of those guys. They're all killers, man.
And it does not matter. In the end, obviously you can't predict the future, but if you're going to win, then you're going to fight one of those guys next. And if you win that one, you're going to fight one of those other guys after that.
Yeah.
It's just the way this whole thing kind of works out. So instead of trying to pick your opponents or say, oh, I want this guy first, you're going to be better off just saying, hey, as you line them up, I'll pick them off.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if he skips Zabit, somehow he's able to get the Max fight. That's a fight he could potentially take, because he's number 1. That would mean that he could bypass Zabit. That would be the only thing I could think of.
Well, and where's Calvin Kattar on that list right now?
Number 6.
Okay. So he's right below you. There's another dude.
Yeah.
It ain't getting easier even going down.
No, Korean Zombie's number 5. I mean, if you put him against Yair again, I would say he probably beats him.
I didn't pick, Korean because they've already fought once.
Yeah.
That just shows that Yair will fight, the very best, because Korean Zombie's freaking phenomenal.
That's good.
So it's obviously not that he, is afraid of fighting someone. I think it's just a matter of he's looking to be in control of the positioning of when he fights and who he fights, when sometimes you're just better off, man, just take it, go.
Yep.
3 times a year. If you can do it 3 times a year and, you're healthy, go.
Like I said,
that's going to push you.
I enjoy watching him fight.
He's phenomenal.
I love watching him fight. He's fun to watch fight. The issue is that, like, by the time UFC as a promotion is not going to put you in a title shot if you are not active. Once every year and a half, but a year is not going to be enough for them to say, hey, let's throw him in there and expect to sell a bunch of pay-per-views. Because here's the thing, him and Volkanovski or him and Max Holloway or him and Zabit, that's a pay-per-view type fight. I look at it, it could be a pay-per-view type fight. Should be a pay-per-view.
All of them.
Yes. And
all of them.
But the fact is, I can't sell a pay-per-view if you don't fight more than once every 18 months or 16 months or 14 months or whatever it is.
People start to forget about you.
They forget about you. They're like, oh, that Yair guy. Yeah, I can't remember. How did he win? Who fought?
Well, you'll always keep the hardcore. Hardcores are going to remember everybody.
Yes, of course.
Okay, it doesn't matter who they are. You haven't fought in 3 years. They remember you, and you're someone that, they'll figure out where they think you belong. But the hardcores are a small minority. It's the average casual fans are the ones that they forget you fast.
Yeah.
They have to see you. They have to hear about you. And if they're not, you're out.
Nope.
So, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean,
hopefully it changes. And I agree with Mark Henry. Mark, you're right.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we're going to wrap it up. So what we want you guys to do is go to mybookie.ag or mybookie.com, use the promo code weighing in, and they will give you half of your initial deposit all the way up to $1,000. So if you deposit $1,000, they give you $500.
That's $1,500.
That's $1,500.
Get yourself set. Get your bets in line, and let's see how well you do. And probably don't follow the advice of me and Josh.
If you want to win, follow John's advice. Do not follow my advice because I just gamble. That's why it's called gambling. All right. Also, go to prowrestlingtees.com/weighing in. Okay. And go there and you check out all the new t-shirts we put up. A couple new ones. Man, I like the Terminator one a lot. I could actually order that one for myself as well.
Terminator one's good.
That one's pretty cool. And then Dave added a couple little effects on it. So it looks like,
I saw a little.
Yeah, the gunshots actually coming through the t-shirt. It's pretty dope.
Like that. Yeah.
Looks pretty dope. And then use the promo code FIGHT and you get another 20% off.
You wanted to say it fit.
I wanted to say fit, like podcast Dave does. Gian doesn't really speak a whole lot of English, so we're going to just go ahead and say, John, what else do you have to say?
Last thing we have to say here at the Weighing In Podcast, everyone have a good day and see ya.